from the Next Unknown. I'm here doing a little guitar tutorial for our song Crazy today. I'm going to show you the lead parts that I play. I'll break them down in great detail, and you'll find that this song is actually much easier to play than one might think listening to the recording. I would say this little guitar tutorial is for somebody in between the beginner and intermediate level, but practice it enough, I promise you'll get there, you'll play it just like I do, and here we go. Alright, so first off, a big old shout out to TC Electronics. I use both of these pedals whenever I play this solo live. So the ones I use are the Flashback 2. There are my settings right there. Check that out. I'm on the analog delay right there. Also, I'm using the TC Electronic Hall of Fame 2, and I'm using the shimmer effect, which is right over here. So those are my delay and reverb settings. Now, it must be said that if you have any reverb and any delay going through your amp for this song, it's going to sound awesome. You don't have to use these pedals. I just do because they work really well for me. The other thing that is nice to have while playing this song, but is certainly not a must, is a guitar with a tremolo system. Now, this is not a full floating tremolo. I do have a little bit of a bend going backwards, but it's not a whole lot. So if you had a Fender or a Squier Strat that also had just the forward motion on the tremolo arm, then you're going to be able to make those really cool sounding like psycho laughs that I do whenever I'm doing the crazy solo part. Also, it's not a must. If you just do those bends and you hold them, or you know how to do a little bit of vibrato with your fingers, it's going to sound just as good, I promise. So let's get into it. Who could that be? Where was I? Right, the amp. So I use the EVH on stage. Right now, though, I'm playing through a Boss Katana, which I think sounds amazing. I have my reverb dialed up pretty well as their approximation of an analog delay. And I'm using my crunch channel with the gain at about 12 o'clock. So I'm on my neck pickups. So the very first thing I do in the song is I do a really intense bend up, okay? So what I'm gonna do is my ring finger on the 14th fret of the G string, my index finger on the 12th fret of the B string. The B string isn't going to be bent at all. So nothing is happening with my index finger except just holding the note. All of the bend comes from the G string and my ring and middle fingers, okay? Now what I do is, I strike both of those strings at once, and I bend up. But I bend way farther than you normally would. A normal bend goes about here, where the notes match each other, just like that. I'm going way farther. I go, because it sounds crazy. So the next thing that happens is Caleb does his little vocal part over just Chris's guitar in the song. But then we all come in. I come in with that little lead run. Da, 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 da. Okay, this is how that works. I'm going to start with my pinky finger on the 16th fret on the G string. And that's just a downstroke with the pick on the string, followed by another downstroke with the ring finger on the 15th. Followed by another downstroke with the middle finger on the 14th. But right here, I do a little upstroke whenever my ring finger goes back to the 15th. Downstroke, middle finger, 14th. Down one fret with the pointer finger, upstroke. And then the rest are just downstrokes. But I slide my index finger down 3 steps as I play them. So we just ended here with an upstroke. Here's our downstroke. So when I get to the 9th fret with my index finger, I do a bend upwards. And then I catch the 12th fret with my ring finger and give it some vibrato, okay? So it sounds like this. Alright? Also, whenever I do that big bend, I'm using these 3 fingers to support my ring finger on the 12th fret. Like that. It's bigger than a normal vibrato bend that you'd hear. This is more akin to something you might hear from like Zakk Wylde. It's just a big bend. And you want to go with that big exuberant bend because it's supposed to sound chaotic and crazy, as is the name of the song. So here's how it sounds slowed down. Here's how it sounds at normal speed. Okay, so remember that bend that we did at the very beginning of my part in the song? We're gonna do that same bend right here. And then we're gonna catch the 16th fret again with our pinky and play that same thing all over again. And then I go silent for a little bit. When we come back in, we do that exact same thing that we just did, except we go through it 4 times. Next, I'm going to show you that little dueling guitar part between me and Chris, where we're just kind of playing over one another. So I'm going to take my index finger, and I'm going to put it on the 9th fret over the D and G strings. The pattern repeats twice, easy as pie. Okay, so here's that part broken down. So these are downstrokes. I play the B string, G string, B string, G string. Then I'm going to take my ring finger and do a little hammer on, 2 frets up on the B string, and then we're going to go 1 fret up with the pinky on that same B string, same type of hammer on. Okay, I hit that again, and then I'm doing pull-offs with the pinky first, and then I do this little run. So the way that is, you do a little hammer on into a pull-off and slide. So here's the hammer on. I'm going to play it really slowly. Okay, I just strike the note 1 time and then go through that. My finger slides down the entire fret. I don't stay on the 9th on the G string. I go back down to the 8th for both strings. Here's that part slowed down. Alright, then we go through that same pattern again. But instead of going back down, I'm going to, and this is a stretch, bring my pinky finger 2 frets up to the 14th fret on the B string, and then that's when we do another bend while the index finger stays right there on the 9th fret. Okay, so you're bending just with your pinky. Alright, and then we're going to play that sequence all over again. So I've moved my amp from the clean channel to the brown channel, which is, it mimics Eddie Van Halen's crazy high gain tone. And I'm going to switch my pickups from the neck to the bridge. So, remember that very first bend that we did? We're going to do that same bend at the same spot. This is really an easy solo. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play it first and then break it down for you. Alright, sounds crazy, doesn't it? So I'm just doing that little bend, hitting it again, and I'm only strumming those 2 strings. So then I'm going to slide my fingers down, and I keep them in the exact same position on the exact same strings. I just move them down. My ring finger, 9th fret, and my index finger goes on the 7th. And I do that same bend again, and then I move 1 fret up. And here's where we get that crazy whammy bar stuff. My goal with the whammy bar is I really wanted it to sound like insane laughter, right? So the way we go about it is, as I bend, I hold the bend there, and then I grab the whammy bar, and then I start going, and I start whammying the bar, but as I'm doing the whammy, each time I push down, I'm letting it come back up a little less and less each time. I didn't want it to sound like this, although that sounds pretty cool. I wanted to give it a little more chaotic accent, so I went like this. You can hear the difference, right? So here's that part played again together. And then we play that part again. One more time. Now here's where we start to climb. I bend, and then I go up 1, 2, 3 frets, the same position with your fingers, bend it, and then the same position up 2 more frets. Okay, so that sounds like this. So now we do that slide on the B string from way down here. So you're gonna wanna practice a little bit. You wanna make sure that you land with your index finger on that 17th fret. You wanna make sure you land there consistently. So what I did while practicing this solo is I just started way down here on the B string. So I slide up, again. Okay, just practice that right there. It's gonna drive the people in the other room crazy. But isn't that the purpose of the song? All right, so we're gonna slide up. And then what I do right here is, because these frets are so close together, normally I would use my pinky finger if I'm playing 3 notes, just because that's how I trained myself to play it. But I'm actually gonna use these 3. If you have smaller hands, then using your pinky finger with this might be a good thing for you. But also considering that immediately after this, we're going into the... You wanna set yourself up to be using your stronger finger. This finger's way stronger than your pinky, okay? So what I'm going to do is, starting from the 17th fret, I'm going to play 17th fret on the B string with my index, do a full step up, or 2 frets, with my middle finger, that'd be the 19th fret, and then the 20th fret with my ring finger. So it sounds like... And then I do that exact same pattern on the E string, just right above it. So it sounds like... Now the picking pattern for this is down, up, down, up, which is actually nice because you're catching that E string coming back up after a downstroke on the B string. So slowly it's down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay? Sounds like this sped up. Down, up, 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 down, up. All right, so here's it slowed down. And then I do a bend. Again, hitting that whammy bar. This time I don't do the crazy wah, 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 wah. I just bend up and just give it a big old crank, right? Gross. Don't make jokes like that. Okay, now I'm gonna stay in the same position. I just bent up to that note. I'm gonna go 2 frets up, and then I'm gonna start this part. So all I'm doing is a super fast alternating picking pattern as I bend this other note. So we go a little bit, right back up, just like that. Here's it sped up. I'm sure the person in the other room loves hearing that noise, right? Here we go with the slide. I'm using my pick. You can stick it either in between the E and the A string or the A and the D string. Both sound really cool. But I do a double slide, so it sounds like this. Okay, so what I'm doing is, as I slide down, then I reach behind with my other hand, I catch the strings, and I continue sliding down. So it kind of sounds like you're doubling your slide pattern. From there, we go straight back into the ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da pattern. And that's it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for your continued support for The Next Unknown. We are a very young and a very local operation out of Northwest Arkansas, and it's really, really, really cool that all of you have really gotten behind us and shown us so much amazing support. I want to see you play this solo, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna include a link to our Crazy video and a link to Crazy on Spotify down in the video description below, okay? While you're here on this page watching this video right now, if you like our stuff, if you like supporting your local hometown homeboys, give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the Next Unknown channel, because we're going to be releasing some live concert footage very soon, and we're going to be releasing more videos right around the corner. All right? I've been Jim. You've been awesome. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And again, send us videos, tag us in videos on Instagram and Facebook of you playing your solo along to Crazy. Bye-bye.